Congressman Green, good to see you again.
Good to see you as well, my friend.
You spent some time in the Senate chamber personally watching the second impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump. Should Democrats have done anything differently?
I don't think that there's very much that we could have done differently. There's always a desire to do better. And I think that you can sometimes satiate that desire. But I think this time we did about all we could do. To be very honest with you, this is one of those circumstances wherein it's not just the president who's on trial. The truth is that the Senate is on trial. History will not be kind to the Senate. But as big as that is, there's still something even more lofty that we're dealing with. We're dealing with the country. We're dealing with a segment of our population that seems to believe that the election and somehow was rigged or was fraudulently perpetrated upon the people of the United States. We've got to deal with that. People need to believe that elections are free and fair in this country. And if we don't deal with that, this problem that we're dealing with now will still haunt us in the future.
But Congressman, how do you deal with that when you have an echo chamber that some people like to be inside? How do you address that?
You address it with truth. Carlyle is right. No lie can live forever. William Cullen Bryant is right. Truth crushed to earth shall rise again. We have to tell people the truth, and we have to be persistent about it, and we have to engage our colleagues and ask them to be truthful as well. For example, in the media, we've had some persons who've distorted the truth. They've had liberties with speaking truthfully. I think we have to just continue to be persistent about this and also interview people who were there. Let Republicans hear other Republicans talk about the elections. It's not over when the ballots are cast. We've got to make sure that people understand that the ballots were freely and fairly cast such that this was a good election.
Legislatively, what comes next after impeachment now? A lot of Texans that we are hearing from want to know what in the world is going on with the stimulus.
Well, we have to pass it. We made a commitment. People are expecting the $2,000 that we said we wanted to deliver. We've delivered on 600 of that. We have $1,400 more. My committee, the Financial Services Committee, is currently marking up legislation for about $75 billion. I have a portion of that that will deliver $10 billion to small businesses and very small businesses.
President Biden has said that he's willing to make some concessions to get bipartisan support. Do you think he should?
Concessions can be made. It's capitulation that we have to concern ourselves with. I believe in having an opportunity to negotiate and both sides give and take, and that's fair. But when concessions become capitulation, then you're stepping on my principles, and I can't do this. I can only concede so much. I think that there's probably room to negotiate, and there's probably room for us to make concessions, but you have to have a give and take on that point. And without both sides making concessions, it becomes capitulation for one side. That's unacceptable.
I want to ask you about the minimum wage. It hasn't been raised, as so many people know, since 2009. And obviously, we hear this all the time. Some businesses say if it is doubled to $15 an hour, like President President Biden rather campaigned on, which is double what it is now, businesses have said that they might have to cut jobs. President Biden has now conceded that he might not be able to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Do you have any hope that it might actually be raised?
Well, it will be. I say to you, without reservation, hesitation, or equivocation, it will be raised. It may not get raised right away. I'd like to do it immediately, if not sooner. And I want to do it because this gets back to the rising tide, raising all boats. We raise the minimum wage. It impacts wages above the minimum wage. We want to raise it to $15 an hour. And personally, I'd like to see it indexed such that we won't have to do this every 8, 10 years, have this battle to raise a wage. I think it should be indexed to poverty. I have a bill, the Living American Wage Act, that does just this. We index the minimum wage to poverty such that anybody who works full time will always have a wage that's above the poverty line. People ought not work full time in the richest country in the world and live in poverty. Raise it, but index it is what I hope we'll do. But whether we index it or not, it will be raised because, quite frankly, it's happening around the country, and we will be paying catch up at some point, the federal government.
Congressman, we always appreciate the time.
My honor to always be with you, and God bless you, and please stay safe.